Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me introduce you to my latest love. Now, being a kid that grew up in the 90s, to say Jurassic Park meant a lot to me, well, that would be an understatement to say the least. Between the toys, the video games, the movie memorabilia, everything Jurassic Park I had to get my hands on. Every single time I went to the arcade, my main objectives were to play some Street Fighter 2, some beat 'em ups like X-Men, Simpsons, Turtles in Time, that type of thing, or play some pinball. And every time I did play pinball, I went straight for a Jurassic Park machine if they had it. Has one of the coolest mechs in all of pinball, where the freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex comes down, chomps the ball, swallows it, drops it back down. It's fan-friggin-tastic, holds up well to this day, and I'm excited I was finally able to find one locally in my area. Been after this machine for a long, long time, which is funny because they made over 9,000 units, so you'd think it'd be a little bit easier to find. However, nobody in my area really wanted to let it go, so finally happy I found this on the Facebook Marketplace a few days before Christmas. Jumped on it instantly. Fantastic price. Does have some quirks, but for somebody like me that likes to tinker, likes to mod, likes to change things up, well, it's right up my alley. So let me show you what I'm talking about.
Oh, look at that, little sexy Rexy with that gap tooth grin. So first things first, I gotta say I'm super excited because this one has a working T-Rex. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the T-Rex mechanism. Works flawlessly, goes up and down, left and right, all that works great. And if you know anything about this specific machine, you know that's going to be the number one thing that, you know, people get attracted to. And it's also, for the most part, the number one thing that breaks down on these machines. So I've got no problems whatsoever with my T-Rex mechanism. So that was part of the reason I jumped on the opportunity to get this. Cabinet body, everything is solid. There's no rot or anything. There's some scuffs. Obviously, it's almost a 30-year-old machine. The side art's got a couple scratches, but overall, it's a good-looking machine. Playfield art, same thing, no massive scratches or anything. I will say I definitely had to come in here and clean it up over the weekend because it had not been cleaned in God knows how long. The guy I bought it from, he wasn't really a huge pinball guy. He just, you know, was attracted to this because, you know, Jurassic Park, he kind of grew up like me, knowing and loving the franchise. So he had this in his living room. He's had it for a couple years and enjoyed it. The guy he got it from started to try to do some modifications on it, but it was clear that guy really didn't have any idea what he was doing. He started to put LEDs in the back box, which he did a decent job on that one. He put some wrong ones in there, but I got that all sorted. But the good thing is he left me a huge bag of LEDs that he didn't use because the guy didn't understand what he was doing. Very clear underneath the playfield with some wiring, some shoddy things I had to fix. That a previous owner was trying to do things that didn't really know what he was doing. But I got a lot of that sorted. When I first bought the machine, brought it home, probably 50% of the GI lights on here weren't working at all. Got them all sorted, situated, got a lot of LEDs put in there and replaced the bulbs. But it hasn't really been upgraded and updated with a lot of the protective maintenance type of things. So those are going to be the first type of things. So right here you can see this is common with these Jurassic Park machines, is a lot of wear around these scoops because these get used all the time. They're, you know, one of the main focal points of getting progress through the games. So you see this has got a lot of wear here, a lot of wear there, some slight wear there. And then over here in the power shed, we got some more wear down here as well. So I've got some Cliffy protectors ordered, and just FYI, in case you're ever wanting to do that type of thing yourself, don't just buy the Cliffy protector and throw it on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some wood, filler, fill this up, level it, sand it, and then put the Cliffy protector around there. That way it doesn't wear anymore, and we have some nice metallic steel protection around these holes, and they don't wear anymore. Overall, though, playfield was good. It just needed a good cleaning. I haven't waxed it yet, but just getting that surface grime off was just a massive help. One thing right out of the gate I noticed, had the secondary slingshot plastics on here. I asked the guy what that was about, and he said, I don't know, the previous owner just handed me a box and had these in it. Well, I found out immediately why. It's because the original plastics that came on these slingshots have been broken, and you can see, you know, they've been tightened down way too much because they've got all sorts of circles and rings and tears. So got some replacement plastics on the way because I'm OCD and I prefer the original blue slingshot plastics. Got one pterodactyl, supposed to be two, so it's missing a single pterodactyl. Not a big deal in my opinion, honestly. Most people that have this machine don't even have any pterodactyls, or they upgrade it to a different one. So that's, you know, not a big deal. Another thing I had to immediately address when I brought it home was these three targets right here were all kind of fused together and laying on top of each other and out of alignment. They were glued down basically with the leaf switches and triggered nonstop. Same over here. This one wasn't working. It was, fused over here, so you couldn't get it to push back. But now I've got them all separated, got all the leaf switches cleaned and cleared, and everything operates exactly like it should. They make some nice little decals out there, third party, that you can put over these. I'm not probably going to do that just for aesthetic purposes, but got all of that situated because now the game plays as it should. Another thing that I noticed right out of the gate when I was talking to the guy and buying the machine and everything was, you'll notice right here we got the yellow Data East flipper, and come down here we've got two white flippers, and no, those are not stock at all, and you can see the Williams logo here. So at some point in time somebody tried to replace these flippers. When I brought it home, the flippers were completely out of alignment. Big mistake. People oftentimes will try to align these flippers with these little guide bars right here. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be aligning them with the little playfield indentations there. So got that sorted. I will probably be rebuilding these flippers. I'll tell you that right now. I know for a fact I'm replacing these, but looked under the playfield. These have never been rebuilt. Everything is stock and just crummy, and I want some more power out of my flippers. So I'm going to completely rebuild the flippers, get those all updated and everything nice and neat. T-Rex hole does have some wear as well. Again, another commonplace, but I got Cliffy protector for that coming on the way. Shooter lane does have some wear, but again, once again, Cliffy's to the rescue. Got something on the way to protect that. Plastics all look good. They need a good cleaning. They're nice and hazy. They were super dusty and dirty and haven't been fully cleaned out, but easy peasy. Everything is intact as far as these solid plastic big ramp there that loops around and has the diverter and everything. So everything's good there. There is a missing plastic piece in the back left-hand corner there. Bit of an annoyance, but easy solution, get that replaced. Overall though, everything is as it should be as far as your main core components. Took me a little bit, like I said, elbow grease over the weekend to get everything lined out to where the game plays as it should. Maintenance wise though, that is the biggest thing. This really was suffering over the years, so that is my PSA for everybody. Please take care of your machines. Previous owner said he had replaced the rubbers, but I think he literally only meant the flipper rubbers because everything else is old and rotted. And the first thing I did was replace the flipper rubbers and the slingshot rubbers just to make sure it was gonna work while I tinkered with it over the weekend. I left everything else just so you can kind of aesthetically see. We got lots of cracked and flaking black rubbers, and that makes dirt on the playfield and gets little pieces of rubber that can fall down and get in scoops and areas and trigger things that you don't want to break down on you. So just PSA, change out the rubbers whenever you got an opportunity. We got some side art, but it's all chewed up here. Somebody was obviously bringing the playfield up and down tons and tons of times and weren't really paying attention, so they chewed up the side art. I may or may not replace that. As of right now, obviously, it's an aesthetic nightmare to me in my OCD, but it doesn't affect the gameplay. It's just, hey, it's scratched artwork, but it's also a 30-year-old machine. Everything on here is kind of scuffed and scratched, so it does follow the character, but probably going to replace this with something. Probably not going to be the same graphic, probably something else, but first on the agenda, give this a good waxing, change out the pinballs themselves because they're old, dirty, grimy. I'm going to buff and polish all of the rails here. Same thing with our plastics. Wax the playfield, get everything up and updated with LEDs and bright shiny lights and everything. Make sure everything's looking good, working good, and playing good. One of the best features and reasons I really bought this thing was behind this. We got an upgraded brand new MPU, so everything brain power wise that's running the game, it's up to date. It's running the new 6.0 code, and I say new, it's actually been out for a couple of years, but 6.0 code, which is the most up-to-date code on this game, so everything in that aspect is really where it needs to be. And I've got so many other ideas right now just swirling around in my brain as far as what I can do to refurbish, revitalize, and basically just bring up to the latest and greatest state-of-the-art technology with the Jurassic Park pinball machine. Now, if you enjoy pinball mods, that sort of thing, make sure you're subscribed and following this channel because I'll be uploading various different videos and how-to and tutorials as I tinker and manipulate and mod this machine to my heart's desire. So if that sort of thing is something you're interested in, make sure you're following the channel. And guys, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit the like button. Share this video with your friends if you found the information helpful. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Really means a lot.